What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 6 of The Climb here with Luzenak, and today we're wrapping up season number 1. Yes, the final game of the season, and well, since we were last here, we've played a decent number of games, we've got some very good results, and we've also had a youth intake. It's the most exciting part of every year in Football Manager for me. Shall we have a look at the latest crop of players? And well, there are two who I've plonked straight in the first team. Now, they're probably not really good enough to go into the first team, but with how the end of the season has worked out, I felt like I could afford to play them, and as a result, we've given them some game time. So Gerard Morin is the first. Now, he is actually now listed as our hot prospect. A little inconsistent, but a quite interesting player. Very, very well-rounded. At first glance, with 13 passing and 13 vision, I was thinking deep line playmaker for him, but because of his bravery and his aggression, and also just, you know, how good his tackling and marking are really for his age, combined with his work rate, at least for now, I think I'm going to try and play him in the ball-winning midfielder role in our team, and that's what we've done with him. And to be fair, despite it not being, you know, a playmaking role really, him and Bar rotating here and there, he has got 2 assists from the position, so he's really exciting, to be honest. Obviously, he's come into the team, he's had a good initial impact. Worth noting, he hasn't got the best personality of low self-belief. That is less than ideal for trying to develop a player, so we're going to look to get some mentoring on the go. And, well, you can see here, the inconsistency, the dreaded... what is the inconsistency? It looks like a darts board kind of thing, a target. Either way, he's just not very consistent. And, well, the other player that we've brought in is consistent, but is injury prone. Yes, this is the other chap who I feel like is good enough to be given game time to. Cyprian David. Probably David. I don't know. I would just call you David. It's easier, isn't it? But yeah, 16 years old, better personality, left-footed striker, can play out on the right-hand side, which fits our system really, really well, obviously, with the inside forwards. Great determination. He already has scored a goal for us in 1 start and 4 sub-appearances, and I've been pretty impressed with him on the whole, already showing some really promising signs of development. I really can't stress with these youngsters how important game time is just for their development. It makes a massive world of difference. We did also have some other players come through, and I know it's very easy to look at all these really high star ratings and go, oh my god, they must be the best players ever. I mean, the reality is they probably aren't going to be playing more than a couple of leagues ahead of us once they're fully developed. I'm sure if you've managed in the lower leagues, you know how it is. The stars, they don't necessarily mean as much as they appear like they should. Anyway, in terms of players that we've had come in the intake, Mezziani has joined us. Not a bad little centre-back, although when you look at this polygon, it is a little underwhelming, isn't it? It doesn't scream quality, but at this level, he's actually very, very good. A player who I might look to maybe promote next year. I will say now, his 5 pace scares me. He has the agility of an elephant, and that is a little bit of a concern as far as I'm concerned. Mark Weibel has joined us. Unfortunately, this guy is genned at the age of 15, which means that he can't actually play for us, because in France players have to be 16 to play. So a little bit of a waiting game for this guy all the way till, well, next October, if I did want to play him. A bit of a weird one, really. He's not a bad player in any one area, but I'm not really sure what role he suits. He is naturally a striker, but with 5 composure, 5 finishing and 5 off the ball, I'm not sure about that. I feel like maybe in the wings is a better area for him, just because that will make the most of his, you know, physicals and some of his technicals, but lots of gaps in this game to try and fill. And he is injury prone, which is obviously just a big, big negative. We've also had Puget join the team, who is a pretty decent attacking playmaker, to be honest. I feel like this guy could be a really good advanced playmaker. Not a bad little player at all. Really, really like the look of him at 16 years old. We had a lot of players in our intake called Jean. So we've got Jean-Vez Puget, Jean-Luc Cardi, Jean-Luc Moreno, Jean-Philippe Joubert. I mean, there's lots of Jeans, all the genes. I mean, I hope they've got some in my size. But anyway, those are some of the better intake players. One other player worth perhaps mentioning is this chap, Nader Mazuki. He actually appeared at the club when we first came in. I had the game set up to add some players to playable teams. He generated at the club. He has some pretty good potential, although I do feel like he's a little way away from the first team. Loads of these players that have appeared, they've got good potential, but as you've probably noticed, in a lot of the areas where you'd go, that's a key attribute for the role that they play or the position they play, they have like 5 or 6s. They've got a long way to go, really, to make it into the first team. But that's going to be a big challenge here at Luzenak, is going to be nurturing these youngsters through. And obviously, we're already making a real attempt to do that with Morin and David playing today. We may even give Morin a game. Anyway, speaking of the youngsters, we've covered those. Let's talk about the old but gold. And, well, they're not gold anymore. Pongol has announced that he is retiring at the end of the season. It's a sad, sad situation. But the good news is he has actually agreed a contract to, well, you'll see here, he's agreed a contract for in June. You might think, that's weird, he's retired. I'll tell you why. He's becoming a staff member, everyone. He's going to become a coach here at the club. And to be fair, for our level, he's actually quite a good coach. So he's around for the long haul, hopefully. Yeah, he signed an amateur contract, a non-contract coaching agreement where he doesn't get paid at all. Who knows, maybe his knowledge of Thailand will come in useful at some point in the future. But anyway, that's a little bit of kind of the young and the old. In terms of games since we were last here, of course, we left on the cliffhanger where it was a case of, that defeat. You know, the title could go down to the wire. And we beat Saint Oren 4-0. And whilst that was a great result for us, slightly disappointingly, Fun and, if I'm not mistaken, Toulouse Metropole both slipped up in that game. So as a result, we just extended our lead over them to a point where, from that point onwards, the title kind of always felt in our own hands, and you can see here, looking at the league table with one game left, we are 4 points clear. We are getting promoted this year. Mutaki, though, really turning it on to end the season. So yeah, he got a goal in the game against Saint Oren. Against Perpignan, you can see here, Robert getting a goal, Joan and Mutaki. Unfortunately, Hugo Robert got injured right towards the end of the season. I think this may have even been the game he got injured in. He was a little bit of a miss for us, although as you can see here, we still managed to string together some clean sheets. Against Stade Ballarquois, who we lost to in the Cup. We beat them 2-0. Gilbert from the penalty spot again. Or not Gilbert, sorry, Joan from the penalty spot again. I would love to know how many penalties we have scored this year. I feel like with the way that we play, where we do look to work the ball into the box, we do like to play patient passing play, kind of somewhat bizarrely, we've just ended up getting a lot of penalties. I say bizarrely, it makes complete sense that you'd get a load of penalties, but just, you know, from teams basically just fouling us in the penalty area and we just convert them. So you can see the penalties here actually. 16 penalties taken, 13 scored in 32 matches. Every other game, we get a penalty, which I guess is just testament to the way in which we boss and dominate games, to be fair to us. You can see average possession of 60% this season. We've kind of just bullied teams, which I was hoping we were going to be able to do, and unfortunately we've struggled against the bigger teams, but against the weaker teams we've been able to get some good results. I'm hoping that to end the season here against US Revel, I'm going to be able to show you a little bit more of what we've been about against the lesser opposition, because obviously this year you've seen us play a lot of the big dogs. Maybe we can hand out a bit of a spanking to end the year. Anyway, 2 more games to cover real quick. AS Portet, we won 3-1 against Mutaki with 2 and Shinine with a goal. And then, well, in the last game of this run of games against Olympique Giroud, Mutaki got 4. Yeah, he just decided he didn't like Giroud. Yeah, I guess he wasn't a fan of the footballer Giroud. But yeah, crazy performance by him in this game. He got all 4 of his goals in the first half as well. It was just a flurry. For the first few moments of quality, for the second 2 goals that he got, just a case of being in the right place at the right time, just being alert to the threat, the fastest to react. Yeah, he was just really solid for us in this game. They did get a late goal, and well, they did also get a sending off, although that was in the 90th minute. And really ending on a high note, Cyprien David, the youngster, this was the game where he got his first goal. It's not going to be the most memorable of first goals for him. It was a little bit scrappy. It was a rebound. But you know what? Give him the match ball. I'm sorry, Mutaki, you can't have it. We're giving it to our youngster. His first ever, well, goal for the club. Hopefully the first of many for David. Yeah, I'm quite keen to see this guy develop and really foster him into the team. So anyway, this is the last game of the season. I'm hoping that we're going to bully US Revel. And here we have what has just about become my settled 11. Karim Bouali, unfortunately, has been injured. I'm not really in the business of risking a 33-year-old coming back from injury for the last game of the season. Just doesn't feel worth it. Equally, Hugo Robert, as I mentioned, he's out injured. So as a result, Abad, who just last episode I was saying I would never play him at centre-back, has been the man playing centre-back for us. The reason for doing that really is that the only other 2 options I have, Amadou Foul, is injured, and the other option that I have at centre-back is a player who we've not really talked about a lot at all here. He's on the bench for us today, and it's Barrett. And you might think, well, why have you not mentioned this guy? I'll tell you why I haven't. Because he agreed to join Power at the end of the season. Yeah, he's just decided he's going to bugger off. And he's a player who I wouldn't have minded giving a bit of game time to. May have even played him ahead of Abad had the injury come before he decided to move away. But yeah, he got sniped away. He got poached away by Pal Football Club. They play in the National League, so they play a few tiers ahead of us. Clearly, they have seen something in Barrett that we have not. Bit of a shame to lose him, but at the same time, it comes with the business. I'm desperately hoping the next season we are going to be going semi-pro and locking players in just so we don't have to worry about our players being poached away from us. Although, I do feel like we've got a little fortuitous in terms of not having too many players poached this year. But anyway, this is the team. Trelou is going to slot in at left back ahead of Juan. I guess that's another one of those decisions where I'm not really sure who I prefer. Even after a whole season, I'm not sure who the top dog is in this position, but we're going to give Trelou a chance. You can see kind of a direct head-to-head of their performances. I think it's worth noting that with Juan, yes, he's got 4 goals. Yes, he's got a good average rating. All his goals have been from the penalty spot. So as a result, that average rating would probably be significantly lower without the penalties that he's been scoring. And as you can see, he's not been doing particularly well in training. In midfield, it's going to be Chinchilla and Bar. Out on the left, Nguala, who, I'll be honest, has not really been performing very well in the second half of the year. He came back from his injury and started hot. Since then, he's just been distinctly average. And I guess it's more a case of he set the bar far too high for himself to ever really be able to maintain it. You can kind of see here, just looking at these ratings, there's only one game in kind of the last 8 or 9 where he's got above a 7.0 rating. Maybe he can do it for us today. Maybe he can end with style and on a high. We've got Shinine out on the right, who similarly has just slowed down a little bit. We have been over-reliant on Mutaki. It's very easy to look at our end-of-season form and assume that we've just been firing on all cylinders. It's been one man, and well, we're going to hope that that man can do the business for us today. Now, I do need to remember, and I might forget, so I will apologise in advance, it's Simona Pongol's last ever senior game. I want to bring him on off the bench for it, give him a moment to remember in the Pyrenees Mountains, give him a moment to savour, one last applause as he comes on as a sub. Looking at US Ravel here, they finished 10th. Obviously, as I've already alluded to, this season we've played a lot of the big teams in live comms. Hopefully this is going to be a chance to show you what more of our games have been like. This is one of those games where we've generally scored a lot of goals early on and then just kind of taken our foot off the gas a little bit. Anyway, 1 minute gone, set piece immediately, Mutaki back post. I mean, there we go, that's what we're all about. He does a cartwheel, he wheels away, 26 for the season. I mean, he got 4 goals last game. I don't see him getting another 4 today, but he's got the best possible start. 3 players around him, leaps like a salmon, heads it goalwards. And, well, Shinine with the assist as well. Just as I've criticised him, saying he's been a little bit quiet, he does that for us. Anyway, Xabi, playing as the advanced playmaker, he always looks so small in the match engine compared to everyone else, Xabi. He's just a child. Anyway, Trelou out on this left-hand side. What can he do? I guess there's more rhyming potential with Trelou. Chinchilla, oh my word, did that hit the post? It took a very weird bounce off the woodwork there, but I thought that was in. I'm going to be honest, I thought he was about to go an absolute banger to end the season. 1-0 up, 15 minutes gone. Our only shot on goal was the only goal until about 2 seconds ago, where we just had 2 more shots. And while the pressure continues, Mutaki glancing header just over the crossbar there. US Ravel struggling right now. Mutaki whips it in. Lasmi, let's go. That's a good header. Mutaki putting in a ball of quality. He is over all of our set pieces in terms of free kicks in the absence of Simona Pongol. And to be fair, he's doing very, very well. Whips the ball in. Lasmi leaps like a salmon, stings like a bee. 3 goals for him is not a bad return for a centre-back at this level, I feel like. Anyway, body language is not good from our players. Lots of players getting complacent. You know, they think the league title's done and we're done, but we're not. Xabi whips it in. Headed away only as far as the goal scorer Lasmi, who puts it to the back post. Headed away, Chinchilla. What can you do, my friend? Lays it to Bar. Options left and right. Decides, nah, I'm going to go back. Trelou, oh my word, what a ball. Shinine, what a finish. That ball by the left back was sublime. Sign him up, get him in Ligue 1 with passes like that. Benjamin Trelou, he's heard that I'm kind of, giving him a chance today at left back to show his worth. From deep, pings it. Oh my word, Shinine's chest down is superb and a nice finish as well to squeeze it past the keeper. It's 3-0 after 26 minutes. We're going up with style, boys. We're going up with style. We just wanted to play some sexy football, as it turns out. Players are still looking complacent, which I don't really love. I'm going to just shout to man more at them. A few of them have got karma now, but I don't respect the complacency. I am someone who, if we get a few goals early on, I want to keep the pressure up. Yes, the game might be dead on the line. I want goals. I like goals. We all like goals, don't we? Poirier, please don't score. Nice save, Tider. Not had to say his name yet this episode. He's been kept very, very, well, unoccupied in the first half. 3-0. Good little performance. 3 different goal scorers. And you know what? I'm kind of tempted to bring Simona Pongol on for the entirety of the second half. We can move Mutaki out onto the left. Simona Pongol, come on for Nguala. And you know what? Why not? Let's bring in Gerard Morin, the youngster. The first ever Youth Academy prospect to break through and play for Luzenak in this series. Hopefully the first of many. We will see how he gets on today. The grill, bringing the ball forward. I want a barbecue now. Cruzette goes back to the centre-back. I mean, I respect them for trying to play football still. You know, still trying to work it out from the back. But at the moment, we are just dominating possession. 65% of it in our favour. They've had 3 shots. They're on the attack here, though. Let's be wary. I want the clean sheet. I want the clean sheet. I'm not getting the clean sheet. Sifiso, that's the name. Tsara Laza. It sounds catchy. It doesn't sound like a real name, but I assume it is, because even though he's a regen, there must be someone else in the world with that last name. If someone watching has that last name, you have a cool last name. I mean, Tyder, I don't think he could have got there, but it was one of those saves where it looks like he's made it as dramatic as possible, the dive. You know, get the cameras out, make it look like he made a really athletic effort. Anyway, Morin, the youngster, 15 years young. At the tender age of 16, 2 assists in 4 games. Can he show us what he's all about here? He does have 13 passing and 13 vision. He's rubbish in a lot of other areas, but in terms of his passing range, for this level, it's pretty blooming good. And well, he's involved in the build-up play here. Shinine, Jabi, whips in, Simon upon goal. Chinchilla could hit it, tries to, it's blocked. Trilou to Chinchilla, Simon upon goal. Get a goal on your last ever senior game, please. Oh no. Oh no. I mean, if they score now, start to panic. Start to panic. It's hit the woodwork. We're fine. We're fine. Everyone remain calm. Remain calm. Everything is awesome. Right, if that had gone to 3-2, I do start to panic just a little bit. As it is, though, with 20 minutes left, we are still ahead. We are still leading the way here against US Revel. Got one last sub in our back pocket. Let's bring in... I don't know who I want to bring in. I was going to bring in Yassine, who is our club captain, who's probably not going to be with us next year. He hasn't impressed me a lot. Obviously, if we do go semi-pro, I think there'll be a... I don't know. I think there's probably 10 players in this team who I think can do a job for us next year, but I do want to look to continue to improve. If we do go semi-pro, that might increase or decrease, I suppose, the turnover of players. You know what? Let's bring in... I was going to bring in Chipo. I am going to bring in Chipo. Youngster from our academy. Going to put him out on the right-hand side. Take Jabi off. Move Shinine into the middle of the team. 8 minutes left. Could we get a 4th? It's been a pretty tame second half. We've done exactly what I said I didn't like doing. You know, getting the lead early on and then kind of just deciding that's enough. 3-1 it finishes, though. Our players, you can see, doing a lap of honour to finish the season. I'm going to applaud them. Wearing my fetching green and red suit. Very nice stuff, boys. We are promoted. I am very happy with the way you played. And, of course, we are going to do a little end-of-season reflection segment. Because that's what we do here. If you're new here, at the end of every season, we kind of take 10 minutes just to look back on things. But what I will do is continue once, hope that the awards pop up. If they do not, I'm going to jump forward because I want to know who the fans' player of the season is. I want to know if I got manager of the year. Mostly all the awards about myself, really. I'm a bit vain like that in Football Manager. You know, if there's a voting for manager of the year, I ain't voting for another manager. Oh, okay, the awards have come straight through. Excellent. So looking at things here, Mutaki got 61% of the fans' vote. And he also did pick up goal of the season. It was in that game against Giroud, which is the game that we already watched earlier on. So we won't do it again. He also won signing of the season and young player of the season. I think it's safe to say that he's been a pretty good player. And now the fans love him as well. They're getting scarves with his name on, which you absolutely love to see. You can see Shinine, despite joining a few months into the season, actually managed to get runner-up, which is really, really impressive for him. You can see the team of the season here. Mutaki out on the left. Simon upon goal does make his way in. His swan song season does involve him getting into the team of the year. Fair play to him. You can see here the season review. The French Cup was actually disastrous. We did lose it, and you wouldn't believe it, but Toulouse Metropole won the Cup that we bottled in the semi-final. And worst of all, despite losing in the semi-final, we were considered the underachievers, as if I couldn't get more upset about it. You can see, match of the season, a 5-0 win against Perpignan. Our moment to forget that 2-0 defeat, our first ever defeat, if I'm not mistaken, that was, as manager, back in episode 2. It feels like a lifetime ago, and yet it was 4 days ago. But yeah, we did win the league, which is what we were expected to do. Anyway, you can see here the expectations for next season. Develop players using the club's youth system. Sign minimum 2-year contracts for first-team players. That's very big. And apparently a new stadium might be on the cards, which is very interesting. Board expectations for next year, top half in National 3 as well. That's a pretty lofty ambition. You can see here in our league, if we just go to, there's lots of National 3s, I should point out, because it's still regional at this point. We are still in the regional leagues, everyone. Do not panic. We are not moving too drastically. But in our league, if I'm not mistaken, it's only a 22-game season. So games are spaced out, seasons are short. I've told a lie, it's 26 games, I can't count. But either way, 26 is still a relatively short season in the grand scheme of things. But that should make things pretty interesting. You can see Toulouse's second team were actually the team that went up. And that is something that we are going to encounter this season. It's just the fact that a lot of the second teams of the big French clubs are the teams who we're going to be battling against. They're going to have more money than us. They're going to have their best hot prospects playing against us. It's going to be interesting to kind of see how that plays out. So top half finish, that is going to be a, well, was it 13 teams in the league? I wish I paid more attention in class. If I'm not mistaken, it was 13 teams in the league, or 14 teams in the league. So we need to come top 7. Easy, he says, knowing it might not be easy. The fact that we're getting told that we need to offer minimum 2-year contracts to first-team players means that we're definitely not amateur anymore as well, which is a big, big step forward. I'm going to accept that vision, though. That feels pretty reasonable. I'm a little bit excited about the prospects of a new stadium, although quite where we're going to get the funds from for that, I feel like that shouldn't be my concern, but that kind of is my concern at the moment. You can see here a few players signing new contracts. I tried to get a few of them on pre-contracts towards the tail end of the year just to stop them getting poached before the season ended. You can see here the board have announced plans to build a new stadium. They're in the process of searching for suitable sites and possible investors. They've decided they want to relocate the club back to their home city of Luzenac, which is a little bit confusing because their actual stadium is in Luzenac. But I guess we just want a bigger stadium. The current one is a little bit old. Chairman Christophe Rodriguez wants to take the team to the next level and considers building a new stadium to be a big move in that direction. I mean, to be fair, we're now in a... Oh, wow, we've actually moved into a temporary stadium looking at it. The Stade Paul Lignon, that is not our normal stadium. I guess we are sharing with Rodez Aveyron football. I was about to say football club. There is no football club. They're just football. They're all about the football. But we are going to be temporarily playing there. You can see here, leaving our old stadium. It's a sad, sad time. Apparently our current stadium didn't meet the requirements. Interesting. I didn't realise that was the case. I wonder how they were able to use it before. Maybe that's a Football Manager database thing. Who knows? Either way, you can see here, we're going to have a bit more in the way of attendances, hopefully, although we don't exactly sell out currently. A few players are concerned about the amount of first team football they're playing, including Ant, who did fall a little out of favour this year for me. Just didn't perform like some of the others. I mean, he wasn't a bad player by any means, but just, I don't know. I didn't really click with Ant. I'm sorry, Ant. We just didn't get on. And John Justin, I'm not sure which John Justin this is, he's also thinking about leaving. And to be fair, he just didn't play enough for us last year. You can see here, Al Mutaki breaking the goal-scoring record. 26 goals in a season. Chennai's 12 assists, a new club record. Mutaki getting the most player of the match awards as well with 7. And Tyder, 18 clean sheets. That's pretty good in a 33-game season in the league, certainly. That's going to be tough to beat for the next couple of years, especially with the current kind of shorter seasons. But yeah, good to see us breaking some barriers and landmarks there. Obviously, our team are now on holiday ahead of promotion. I do feel like this summer, as I said, is going to be quite a big one in terms of just working out where we're at and who might need to stay and go. If I was to look at the first team now and kind of players who I am relatively happy, I suppose, to keep in the first team for next season, if I'm going to be really, really, really picky, and I am going to be, I think... I don't know about Xabi. I feel like if we stuck with these players here who are currently in the team and could get in 4 new starters, a new centre-back, a new left-back, a new centre-mid, and a new advanced playmaker, I'd feel pretty good about things at that point. But of course, with the transition to going semi-pro, that is going to introduce some new challenges in terms of with recruitment, in terms of ensuring the long-term commitment, I guess, of some of our initial first-team players. But one thing I would definitely say is, right now, I feel like we've got a very good platform to build off. We've got a few players who have really put in good performances this year. I feel like the system we've got, it's not overcomplicated. We've tweaked it a little bit as the season's gone on, but ultimately it's about using the wide areas, having inside forwards who get into the channels of space, holding on to the ball, trying to dominate the ball as much as we can. I do wonder if that game plan is going to be more tricky against the more technically gifted kind of B teams of many of the upper echelon French clubs, but I feel like that's a problem that we will encounter and then react accordingly to. Because I'm hoping that we can kind of stick to our principle here of just playing some really, really nice football. And with Mutaki leading the line, I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like if you have a goal scorer, you're always, in a good little position. And I do feel like he is a player who really could do the business for us. A lot of teams in the National Free level were wanting him before he joined us, which fills me with hope. And of course, he dominated the goal-scoring charts. Behind him, you can see Ngoala got 16, Timon Pongol got 10, Shinain got 8 goals as well as 9 assists. He really did well. Interestingly, on the assist point, whilst there are a few players who were pretty standout, it's quite an even distribution, all things considering. Everyone kind of chipping in. I think that's testament to the amount of rotation that was done, just the way in which we play. So many players in the final third knocking the ball around. All of them need to be capable of making that killer pass, and for the most part, they have been. Obviously, Mutaki just absolutely dominated everything. He won every end of season award, so it's a bit of a no-brainer that he is my player of the year. Karim Bouali did impress me though. At 33 years old, to get 7 assists from right back is not too bad at all. I am a little bit scared still about his physicals, but no, he's been a good little player. And if you were wondering, by the way, about Villain, who broke his leg at the start of the year, here he is. I mean, he's not a bad player, and he was in my first team plans to begin with, but I do feel like that broken leg has set him back massively. And at 20 years old, turning actually, you can see 21 in just a month or two's time, there is a little bit of a question mark about, is he actually good enough for the next level? But anyway, that's going to wrap up the first season here at the club. A good season. Obviously, we achieved what was set out in front of us. It'll be interesting to see which club gets promoted alongside us. Toulouse Metropole or Narbonne are the two teams that I would expect to be making it up. I think Toulouse Metropole probably deserve it on reflection. They were a very good team. They caused us a lot of problems. I think this summer is going to be quite busy in terms of recruitment, really trying to flesh out a team, add to our strengths, and with us going semi-pro, hopefully it will open up the opportunity to sign a few more players, because the pool of players actually interested in joining us really wasn't that big to start this year. So anyway, guys, that is going to be all from me today. Thank you so much for your support on the series as always. If you have enjoyed today's video, do drop a like on it. I'll see you guys again for season number 2, hopefully starting tomorrow. Mark it in your diaries, get it written down. We're going to be back, we're going to be better, and hopefully we're going to be semi-pro. I'll see you then.